Hi, my name's Keith Cooper of Northlight Images. Something I'm still getting asked about a lot are where are the new printers? Now, I'll have a look at different ones, different makes and things, but at the moment there are still no signs of any new printers. Printers do not reappear on with new models and things at anywhere near the frequency of cameras, yet alone the frequency of phones or something like that. Printers last a long while. If you have a good working printer, there is no reason to update most of the time. Don't worry about it. If you've got a good printer that you're happy with, you're getting good results from, don't think you're missing out by not having something new coming out. Printer technology has plateaued. Now, I'll come back to how that reflects updates for, let's say, the Canon PRO-1000 in a moment. But the important thing is to remember that printers are very good these days. If they are very good, something new coming out that's also very good, the difference may not be as much as you hope for. Although if you were hoping for big differences, try and define what those differences are. I think differences you're likely to see are mainly in things like usability and other areas like that. If I go back and look at, say, the PRO-1000 from Canon and the PRO-200, which I reviewed a few years ago, the PRO-200 to me is a vastly better printer. Now, why? Because they use the same print. Because, first of all, it got rid of an annoying limitation on margins, but also it went from having like one big button on the front, and so you didn't know what the printer was doing, and it's gone to a display. So expect new stuff to move to, we would expect, touch displays and things like that. So at least stuff like that will change. But in terms of the printhead, certainly the PRO-200, PRO-300, they're essentially the same printhead from the PRO-100 and the PRO-10. So remember, these things have long cycles. So back to the one people most ask me about, Canon's replacement for the PRO-1000. Yes, it will come. I do not know when it will come. This year might be reasonable. Look, however, as I've always said before, look at the technologies that Canon have brought out in their other printers. And the one to look at has got to be the PRO-2600, 4600, etc. Now, what's the key difference between the PRO-2100 and the PRO-2600? It is the ink set. There are other differences as well. But I think what that tells me is that if there had been some whizzy new technology that we might see coming up in a PRO-1000 replacement, that would have appeared in the PRO-2600. And that wouldn't be such an incremental change. So really it's going to be about those inks. It's longevity. Now on those it's also about their physical toughness, scratch resistance, all sorts of things like that. If I had to look for areas of improvement, it would be usability. And also, I suppose, for the PRO-1000, because it's quite old at that, something to make it a little bit more modular for repairing it. But that's it. The big thing I'm asked about is roll paper. I don't know. I'm minded to think, no. If you want roll paper, that's what you've got to buy yourself a 2600 for. Canon have not done a 17-inch roll printer since the IPF 5100, which was a lovely printer, but never got updated. It's quite a few years ago. I reviewed it. Don't have a video. It's long before I started making videos, but a lovely printer. But that was 17-inch. That was roll paper. Nothing. 17-inch, this P5000 that I've got here, this is no longer available from Epson. You can get it, but only in the Spectraproofer version. Is now the P5300, which is the same inks as the P900, P700. P900, what about Epson? What are we going to get from Epson? Well, once again, I'm afraid if you're waiting for new printers, you can have a long wait. Now, one of the nice bits later this year, Epson's printer showroom and demo centre will be much closer to where I live. So that means I can go and test some very unusual printers like fabric printing printers and all sorts of UV printers and stuff in here. Stuff that I wouldn't normally cover because either it wouldn't fit in the house or, you know, just not the sort of thing I normally look at. Including the 2500, which is the successor to the P-20,000, which has long been the printer that I suggest to people. Someone says, what's the best printer to buy, Keith? And I'll go, oh, get yourself a P-20,000 because, well, it's 64-inch, it's huge, won't fit in the house, whatever. You should have specified what you wanted a bit more. There's no such thing as best. I always say that. But what about the P700, P900? I don't think there's going to be any replacements for those or updates until well into 2025 for announcements and maybe 2026. Remember too that one of the reasons I haven't tested the PRO-1000 yet from Canon is that although it was announced early this year, they're still not shipping in huge volumes. There are supply chain problems throughout the world still in components, all sorts of things, and these are affecting things like printers. Now, Canon have almost certainly, coming up in the next week or two, got some new cameras coming out. That's widely trailed, widely suggested. It's also, they're likely to have, maybe later this year, I'm told, maybe some new tilt-shift lenses. Well, that'd be great because that's a specialist type of lens I do a lot about, or when I wrote a book about. But that is not the same as printers. So even if something gets announced in the next few months, I wouldn't expect supplies maybe till well into the autumn, maybe closer to Christmas. So there you have it. That's the update. Not much of an update, I'm afraid. But anyway, if you know any information or anything like that, do let me know. As I say, I expect I will be looking at these things in due course, but at the moment, empty space. Thanks for watching. Bye.